Well, I'm more optimistic than I've been for a long, long time. We're in the midst of gradually reopening our restaurants. We've opened 5 over the last 2 weeks. And on one hand, it feels like the beginning of baseball season, but we're in spring training because we're recruiting all new teams. So many people left New York over the course of the last year. So it's exciting. But it's a really good season of hope right now.
And what was part of your optimism stemming from the stimulus bill and the factors that were included in that this time around?
Absolutely. Our industry has been waiting and waiting and waiting to get some type of relief from Washington. And I really want to take my hat off to the Independent Restaurant Coalition, as well as the National Restaurant Association, who finally got through to Congress, and Congress finally came through on behalf of an industry that is not one big monolith, and therefore probably hard for a lot of people to appreciate how many Americans are employed in this industry and how many towns and villages and cities rely on their restaurants for their economic activity, as well as really for the emotional well-being of those communities.
Danny, it's Sarah. It's good to hear you so optimistic because we've talked to you at some of the low points over the last year or so. My question is, how are you thinking about the other side? So once we do hopefully continue to fully reopen, what does a place like New York, which you have such a presence and a history in, look like? We've gone through so much in terms of the pandemic, real estate, offices, now tax increases potentially. What's the prognosis?
Tough. I think you'd have to be kind of crazy to think it's going to be easy, because it won't be. Listen, most of us have been doing business with long-term leases that were based on a reality that no longer exists. We don't have nearly the density in our city in terms of office occupancy, as you said. International travel is probably going to take a little bit longer to come back. So will business travel. So what we're really focused on right now is how can we build back our businesses in a hyper-local way. As of this moment, Sarah, our restaurants are able to serve 50% indoor capacity plus, and this is really important for a lot of reasons, plus on the sidewalks and sometimes even into the street outside of the restaurant. The reason that that's so important is that when you pass a restaurant, and as the weather gets warmer, which is another big reason for my hope, especially for a town like New York City, as you pass a restaurant and you see street activity where all you've seen for months and months and months are either snowbanks or boarded up windows, street activity is a beacon of hope that's going to encourage more people to either return to New York, return to their offices, and come visit the city.
And sorry, to follow up on that, Danny, do you think that these things will be made permanent, particularly outdoor dining in somewhere like New York City?
Well, we've been told by our current mayor that this is permanent. I've spoken to only 3 of the many, many people vying to become mayor in the election that'll be this November. But all 3 of them have said that it's fully their intention that we continue this. And why is this so important? This is a city of people who are self-selected human beings who want to be with more people. And when people see people in New York, life happens. Furthermore, the rent, as I was just saying, these long-term subscription leases, which is really what a lease is basically going to rely upon the ability for restaurants to do more revenue than they can do within the 4 walls that they've had. Whether or not we have capacity restrictions, having the opportunity to serve outdoors for 8 months a year, plus the new tricks we now have up our sleeves, which we all had to learn this past year, of takeout, delivery, and shipping across the country, we may finally be at a point when we can have a full-service restaurant industry that's economically not only viable, but can truly thrive.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.